The Suspended Well Abandonment Tool, S.W.A.T, raised the bar for abandonment tools on its introduction in 1996. After locating the well and performing the as-found survey, the trash cap, if one is fitted, is recovered to allow access to the well. The well bore is inspected and drifted to confirm the position of the existing internal cement plug. A guide cone is landed on top of the well to assist the entry of the perforating guns and the S.W.A.T body. The bottom guns are lowered through the moon pool and are suspended on a cruciform before being attached to the S.W.A.T bottom hole assembly. After surface purging and testing, the S.W.A.T is lowered to land on the 9 5/8 inch casing hanger. The upper and then the lower packers are inflated to seal against the casing wall. A pressure test performed between the packers confirms the integrity of the seals. A second pressure test below the lower packer checks the integrity of the well and the lower packer. The S.W.A.T is now ready to perforate the 9 5/8 inch casing. The upper perforating gun array consists of a 2-inch and a 3 3/8 inch gun, which are 0-degree phased because they are positioned side by side and housed within the S.W.A.T tool. The lower perforating gun array is a 3 3/8 inch and a 5 1/4 inch gun, centralized and 360-degree phased, suspended one above the other. The lower 3 3/8 inch gun is fired hydraulically to breach the casing. At this stage, a check determines whether there is any pressure behind the casing. Note that during S.W.A.T operations, reservoir hydrocarbons are never recovered to the vessel. The upper 2-inch gun is then fired through a slot in the S.W.A.T housing. This also breaches the casing and it establishes a circulation path through the inner annulus. A cleanup pill is pumped down the circulation line, through the annulus and back up the return line to displace the drilling mud to the surface. This mud is either recovered to a holding tank or discharged overboard if it is water-based. Next, a viscous thixotropic spacer is pumped down the return line, followed by cement. This positions the cement adjacent to the lower perforations and throughout the annulus. Back pressure is held on the circulation line with a variable choke valve at surface to minimize the U-tube effect. This choke is closed immediately pumping stops. The excess cement in the system lines and the wellhead area is cleaned out by deflating the upper packer and flushing down the return line. The surplus cement is deposited harmlessly on the sea bed. After a period of waiting on cement, the upper packer is re-inflated and the cement is pressure tested for integrity. Now the inner annulus is isolated, it is time to start work on the outer annulus. The sequence of events is essentially the same as before. The 5 1/4 inch guns are fired to perforate the 13 3/8 inch casing, opening up the annulus between the 13 3/8 inch and 20 inch casings. Any pressure in the system is monitored. The upper 3 3/8 inch gun is then fired to form a circulation path between the two sets of perforations. A cleanup pill, pumped down the circulation line, displaces the drilling mud back to a surface holding tank or, in the case of water-based mud, discharges it overboard. Flushing continues until a clean return is obtained. A balanced cement plug is pumped into the 9 5/8 inch casing and the outer annulus to complete the operation. The drop sub is actuated immediately after pumping cement and before mud displacement. This releases the lower perforating guns and allows them to fall into the well. The packers are deflated and seawater is pumped through the system to remove cement deposits and ensure that there is sufficient rat hole to position the severance equipment. The S.W.A.T is then reinserted into the well and the packers are inflated for a final pressure test. Following a successful test, the S.W.A.T is recovered and a drift run is made to confirm the top of the cement plug. The guide cone is recovered before severance operations start. The final stage of abandonment is to sever and recover the wellhead itself.